It's been stressful, to say the least. It's not exactly been my ideal day, my ideal setting. It's just been a day of chaos.
I understand. Would you mind expanding a little on why?
Sure. So I've been planning this big vacation for a while now, and I've been getting all the preparations ready, getting hotels lined up, trying to get the cheapest price for these hotels, making arrangements for events, for things to do while on this vacation because my partner lives a couple states away, and this was going to be an opportunity for us to just be in the same place at once and have a kind of mutually successful weekend. However, it just seems like this entire plan has just fallen apart each step, and it only gradually gets better for 1 minute and then kind of falls apart again.
Yeah.
And at this point, my partner's job is not letting them get the days off that they need, even though they requested these days 3 weeks in advance. And so I'm now very frustrated, very, very scared, and it's just been like plaguing my mind, and it's just been bothering me because I've gone through so much work and effort to try and plan this, and it just doesn't seem to want to work out as much as I want it to.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I understand that you're really frustrated with the situation at hand, and after all the work that you put in, that's completely understandable. Would you mind expanding just a little bit on just how much you feel it affects how you feel to see all this work that you're doing kind of crumble?
I mean, I'm someone who is such a perfectionist. I want everything to be perfect. I want every detail to be spot on, because when I go into a scenario where I feel like I have to make a plan and I have to make a scenario work out and be like the planner and the manager, I expect a certain outcome.
Yeah.
Just because I put so much time, so much effort into making everything feel so perfect and so pristine, that when it all falls apart, I feel like I'm partially to blame. And that I get really frustrated with myself, even if it's out of everyone's control. Like in this scenario, I want to be so mad at my partner. I want to be so mad at his job. I want to be so mad about all these things. However, it's just, I can't be, because it's not going to help anything. And that frustrates me more because I lose control, and I'm someone who is such a control freak. And it's only recently come to light that I am such a control freak. And that's something I'm trying to work on. I don't know where it stemmed from. I don't know how long I've been like this, but it's only up until recently that I feel like once I lose control of a situation, I start to panic.
Yeah.
And that's really where I'm at right now, is I'm starting to feel a little panicked. I'm starting to feel a little out of control, and that's starting to feel weird for me.
Yeah. Now I understand that when you start to feel like you lose your control, that makes you feel a little panicky. If you wouldn't mind kind of delving into that a little bit, and maybe even if you don't have an answer, just try. Where do you think you get this need to be in control?
I would say probably growing up, I always felt like I never had any control. Any of the adults in my life kind of laid a path for me. And then when I went to high school and got bullied as a child, and I couldn't really stand up for myself, I didn't really have any control over what was being said about me and what was being used against me. It kind of made me feel as if I was powerless, made me feel unworthy, made me feel unwanted. And there was nothing I could do about it except for lie down and take the bullets.
Yeah.
And now as an adult, now that I have the capability to stand up for myself and have the capability to forge my own path and forge my own destiny, I'm still not used to it.
Yeah.
So when I have those moments of power and I have those moments of control, I want to hold on to them because in my mind it means stability. In my mind it means that I'm not fighting for anything, I'm not suffering, I'm in a good place. And then once I lose that control, I start to feel weak again. I start to feel like I have the whole world spiraling around me. Doesn't feel good.
Yeah. Okay. That's a completely normal feeling. Many people, when they start to feel like they're losing control, kind of have that same feeling that you're describing. That their world isn't in one place.
It feels like the world isn't mine, but I have no control.
Of
It
course.
feels like I'm not a really religious person. I've never been a really religious person. I don't like the idea of there being someone higher than me controlling my life because it takes the fun out of living it. And I do believe that I have the whole world on my side, but when I have those moments where I lose control, I feel like the world turns away from me. And so I lose the world. The world is no longer mine. I don't have these possibilities when I lose control because it starts to feel like I'm just a puppet in the grand scheme of life and grand scheme of everything going on around me. And I don't like to feel like I'm being puppeted. I don't like to feel like I'm being controlled. It's just something I've always had an issue with. I've always been very adverse to authority. It's caused me to lose a couple jobs. It's caused me to question relationships because those are situations where I relinquish control. And those are situations where I feel powerless because I can't have my 100% say. And it causes me to panic. It causes me to lose control. And I get very vindictive, very angry, very rude to people that don't deserve it. And it's something I've always been working on. And it just, today, I wasn't expecting to be hit with this. I wasn't expecting to feel like I lost control.
Yeah.
And it's happening so fast, and I haven't been able to wrap my mind around it just because of that. I've been so stressed. I feel like I've been coming off rude to my partner. And at the same time, I'm kind of one of those people that's willing to do anything to gain his power back. Or feel like I have some kind of power, whether it be a false sense of it or like a real sense of power. I want to feel that kind of power. I want to feel control.
Yeah. So do you think that possibly the fact that you feel like you don't have control, this makes you act out towards other people, towards the people who are closer to you?
Yeah, it does, because I want them to say what I want to hear. I want them to say, "Oh, it's perfect. Oh, it's fine. You're fine."
Yeah.
When the reality of the situation is, I might not be fine.
Yeah.
So the reality of the situation might be that there's nothing I can do. And when the people that are close to me are being honest with me and telling me this, I don't want to believe it. And so I'll get very angry and very like, how dare you say that to me? Like, how dare you take away my hope?
Yeah.
How dare you take away the one thing that is keeping me sane, keeping me fighting? And so I lash out. And I'm from a place where it's just common to lash out. It's not the most gentrified area. It's very, people fought for what they had to fight for. And that's kind of the mentality I grew up growing around. So being catty, being vindictive, being a fighter has always been a part of my mentality. So to have people not side with me feels like they're against me.
Yeah.
Even when I know in my heart of hearts they're not. Even when I know that in all other scenarios, them telling me the truth wouldn't hurt me. But in this one specific case, it feels like an attack.
Yeah.
And when I'm being attacked, I kind of seclude or get really angry. Yeah. And chances are I'm getting angry because I want to fight.
Yeah.
I've spent my whole life not fighting. I spent my whole life just taking blow after blow. And now that I have the opportunity to fight and stand up for myself, I don't want to lose it. And so I will trample whoever I have to make sure I'm on top. And it's awful, but that's just the way I've always been. I don't know if that's going to change overnight, but that's something that's plaguing me now.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. It's just I've been put in a weird position in my mentality.
I understand that you feel like you need to fight for your stability, and that's a completely normal thing, especially having to have done that and from where you're from. It's just natural, and it will most likely not happen in an overnight. That you can work past that, but I personally, I think that it is a good measure of how strong you are as a person, because that's what you needed to use to get through hard times, and it's more of a tool nowadays.
I just wish natural did not mean hurtful, because there are going to be times in my life where I need to relinquish control. There's going to be times where I'm going to be involved in a situation, but I was not the catalyst, and therefore I can't even. There's no way in God's green earth I'm going to have control.
Yeah.
And I need to learn to accept that. But this is what works for me now, and I know it's not the most healthiest method that I can use. It's not the best approach. It's nothing that systematically makes sense. But I don't like stressing out. I'm in a part of my life where I don't want to do it anymore. I don't feel the need to stress out anymore. I've been through so much in life, so much hurt, so much pain, so many people leaving me, so many people saying I'm never going to be good enough, that I want to push past that, because I don't want to live in my 40s with the over-nagging fear that I'm not going to be worth anything, that one day this is all going to be for naught, I'm just going to be forgotten. I don't want to live for that moment. I don't want to feel like without control that reality is an indefinite possibility.
I do think it's a good thing that you're aware of what you believe should change, because you can't consciously make a difference if you're not aware of what needs to change. So of course, realizing what is wrong with your situation is the first step, and I think that is wonderful that you are perfectly aware of that.
I guess that's the session.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's all the time we have.
That's all the time I could afford.
But
Thank
we
you
can
so
talk about
much.
this again.
Oh yeah, for sure. Thank you so much for listening,
Oh,
for being so receptive.
It's my job.
Cut the commercial. Get the coffee.
How do you get meat in a chip? That is a very good question.
you're recording. Okay.
I don't want to be in the phone.
Oh, there goes the phone.
Fuck!
Rev up those fryers! And I'm like, ma'am, I did not pay for this.
I shoved a whole bag of jelly beans up my asshole.
Moister than an oyster.
So I'm like, my life's like real shit.
Get out of your window. If I could see you, you can see me. I don't even work here.
Shut the fuck up. Nobody wants you here.